Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stared at a goldfish bowl and thought, what if I sat in that and drove it to a car show with two V8s roaring behind my ears? No? Well, lucky for us, one man did. And not just any man, Ed Big Daddy Roth, the mad scientist of metal flake and fiberglass. Today, we're diving helmet first into the glitter-drenched madness that was the 1962 Mysterion. A car so bizarre, so bold, and so pointlessly powerful it could only exist in the heyday of Southern California car culture, when more was never enough and logic was politely asked to leave the garage. Before we uncork this chrome-plated fever dream, a heartfelt shout-out to the lovely sponsors of our channel. Without your support, we'd be stuck reviewing mopeds in the rain, or worse, asking influencers how to monetize Bubbletop NFTs. But thanks to you, I get to talk about double-engine freak cars built by men in cut-off jeans wielding acetylene torches and artistic delusions. Bless you all. Now let's set the stage. The year was 1962. America was dancing to surf rock, the space race was on, and car shows were turning into full-blown psychedelic pageants. Enter Ed Roth, cartoonist, airbrush pioneer, and fiberglass wizard. Having already turned heads with his beatnik bandit and outlaw, Roth needed something louder, lower, and loonier. The Mysterion was his nuclear option, designed not to be sold, but to dazzle eyeballs and sling t-shirts. And sling they did. Revell sold millions of plastic kits of Roth's cars to kids who couldn't yet spell chassis, while Roth cashed in on fame with every bubble-roof fantasy he trailered across America. Built in Roth's shop with the help of Dirty Doug Kinney, the Mysterion wasn't meant to live in reality. Its body was hand-laid fiberglass sculpted over a plaster buck. Roth shaped it himself, including the infamous Cyclops headlamp pod. Larry Watson sprayed it in pearlescent white with a Murano gold candy finish that sparkled like Elvis's suit under a disco ball. A hydraulic system controlled the rear suspension and even raised and lowered the clear plastic bubble roof. Because obviously, if you're building a sci-fi chariot, manual doors are for cowards. Let's talk brass tacks, or rather chromed C-channel rails. The frame was skeletal, full of dramatic weight-saving holes, which unfortunately saved a little too much weight from the places where, structural integrity lives. But that didn't matter in Roth's universe. It only had to look cool sitting still, which was fortunate because that's what it mostly did. Now, onto the mechanical madness. In its earliest form, Mysterion sported two Oldsmobile Rocket 88, 303 cubic inch V8s with hydromatic transmissions. That's right, two engines, one car. Why? Because Roth could. But the final build saw even more absurdity. Two Ford FE Series 390 cubic inch big blocks, donated by Ford's Bud Anderson. Each came with its own automatic transmission. Both mills sat canted side by side ahead of the cockpit, so the show crowd could gawk at all that chromed lunacy. In theory, both could run. In practice, only one did. The second engine was a dummy, internals gutted and turned into a flashy alternator-powered decoy. So yes, half the V8s were for show, but when you've got a giant clear dome over your head and enough chrome to blind onlookers, who's counting pistons? As for power delivery, the surviving engine sent its fury through a custom dual-bell rear end. Imagine two Ford banjo housings welded together and dressed with fiberglass caps. Exhaust headers curled out from the side like mechanical spaghetti, while custom drive shafts snaked toward the rear like the last-minute ideas they were. The front suspension was just as home-cooked. Roth used a Ford I-beam axle stretched and perched on a sprint car-style 4-link setup with coil springs. Front wheels were 16-inch motorcycle rims on drilled hubs. Brakes? None, because braking is for people going somewhere. And the Mysterion didn't drive so much as it existed, loudly, glitteringly, and occasionally leaking oil onto the carpeted floors of exhibition halls. The car's size was substantial, longer than a 50s roadster and heavier than it looked. The fiberglass body, double drivetrain, and elaborate hydraulic roof made it a trailer queen par excellence. There were no official stats for top speed or fuel economy because it never needed them. But with even one of its 390 Ci V8s, the thing could theoretically top 100 miles per hour. Theoretically. Just don't try cornering or sneezing at speed, or you might find yourself in orbit. Inside, Roth went full glam rock mad scientist. The lone bucket seat was lined in reflective metal flake vinyl, the floor blanketed with shag carpet thick enough to lose your shoes in. The dash was a deco nightmare, the steering wheel chrome and proud, the gauges mostly ornamental. In fact, Roth admitted he installed some parts upside down purely because they looked cooler that way. What's truly special about the Mysterion is that it was never meant to be driven in any real-world sense. It was a kinetic sculpture, a fiberglass phoenix rising from a welding torch, and a pack of lucky strikes. It debuted in 1963 and toured the country under Roth's brand, dazzling teenage gearheads and horrifying anyone with an engineering degree. The press loved it. Rod & Custom even gave it a 1963 cover. But like all beautiful disasters, its glory was brief. By late 1964, after being passed to promoter Bob Larrivee, the Mysterion had cracked its own fragile frame under the weight of its ambitions and its engines. Larrivee swapped it back to Roth for two earlier cars, at which point Roth shrugged and stripped it for parts, salvaging the front and rear axles. The rest was sold off or scrapped by a teenage enthusiast who'd bought what remained. Thus, the original Mysterion died, not with a roar, but with a quiet clunk and the sound of teenage dreams shifting into neutral. Yet even in death, the Mysterion refused to be forgotten. It lived on through Revell's best-selling model kits, dusty car show posters, and the glazed-over tales of every guy at every diner who swears he saw it once back in '64. And as legend hardened into lore, a new generation of fiberglass fanatics rose to give it rebirth. In the 2000s, Ed Roth fan Dave Schutten undertook an obsessive recreation. Every oddball bracket, every upside-down part, even the fake engine trickery, it was all there. And then in the 2010s, Jeffrey Jones of Bakersfield built another stunning clone, which now resides at Stahl's Automotive Collection in Michigan, halo-lit like a space-age saint. His version, it even has that dummy alternator-powered engine. Because if you're going to do Mysterion, you better go all the way to Crazy Town. Design-wise, the Mysterion was Roth unleashed. The body wasn't sculpted, it was conjured, swoops, bulges, and fins with no regard for symmetry or physics. The front end looked like it had been inspired by a fever dream of a Martian with a taste for Art Deco. One large cyclopean headlamp and one smaller conventional lamp stared out from an asymmetrical fiberglass face that seemed more alive than mechanical. There was no grille in the traditional sense, only a grin-like slot that dared you to question its purpose. In the early 60s, custom car culture was thriving. California was Mecca, car shows were the catwalks, and fiberglass was the new silk. While Detroit offered Corvettes and Thunderbirds, Roth offered alien spacecraft on wheels. But Mysterion wasn't built to compete with them, it was built to eclipse them under the spotlights. The Corvette had factory testing, Mysterion had leopard print shag carpet. The Ford Thunderbird had brochures, Mysterion had Revell kits with decals that kids licked and stuck on their lunchboxes. Mysterion wasn't a rival, it was a rebel. Today, the Mysterion exists in replicas only. The original was dismantled, scattered, and remembered more as myth than machine. But the clones, especially Jones's replica sold at RM Sotheby's in 2018, tell us how valuable madness can become. That recreation fetched $246,400 at the Peterson Automotive Museum auction, Lot 168, a price double its estimate. Adjusted for inflation, that's around $300,000 today. Earlier recreations sold for less, a mere £62,000, about $80,000 in 2009, but it's Jones's Mysterion that holds the crown. And let's be honest, don't we all need a little Mysterion in our lives? Something beautiful, ridiculous, and completely unnecessary. Something that reminds us not to take every corner perfectly, but to slide through life with a chrome bubble and an engine that only pretends to run. And hey, if you enjoyed this little trip through Fiberglass Fantasyland, consider subscribing to the channel. We've got more chrome dreams, lost legends, and hot rod oddities coming your way. Just don't let your neighbor convince you to build one in your garage. That's how I lost 2 weekends, 3 welding masks, and the better part of my eyebrows.